Thanks for joining us. This is Jody Berenblatt from GrayHair Advisors, and we're hosting this panel here at the National Postal Forum for some of you who weren't able to come to the National Postal Forum this year, and for others who are elsewhere and wanted to hear the discussion. So you'll notice that our chairs are eclectic, and part of the reason for that is that we got all of the material for the GrayHair booth at the Habitat for Humanity Restore, and everything will go back there at the end of the NPF. So Jessica Lowrance is going to be our host for today, and Jessica, if you can introduce yourself,
Yes.
We'll introduce the panelists, and then we'll begin the discussion.
Hi, I'm Jessica Lowrance with the Association for Postal Commerce.
Bob Schimek, Bob Schimek from Satori Software.
Seattle.
Where are you from?
I don't know.
And I'm Jody Berenblatt from GrayHair Advisors, based in New York.
Leo Raymond from AMSP in Alexandria, Virginia.
Sharon Owens, United States Postal Service, Washington, D.C.
So today we are going to go through a whole host of topics that are kind of pressing right now within the postal industry, and there's a lot of unknown, so we hope to clear some of that up for you today, as well as just hear from the panelists about what they think about each of the topics. And the first thing we're going to start off with is load leveling. Now we're going to turn to Sharon because it was a Postal Service initiative that they have filed at the Postal Regulatory Commission, and in other words is a change of service filing. And so we're going to just ask Sharon to explain a little bit about it to level set the group, and then we can go ahead and start talking about the impacts.
So load leveling is a change in standard mail, the service standards for standard mail that's drop shipped at a DSCF on after the critical entry time on Thursday. So after 4 p.m. on Thursday for mail with a Friday start the clock or Saturday start the clock. We're changing the service standard from 3 days to 4 days within the continental United States, and from 4 days to 5 days outside the continental United States.
And when does that happen?
The effective date is April 10th, and what we're going to do is be very intentional about how we roll this out in all of our plants so that we have flawless execution, so that our plants know what to do. We expect to have the country full up about 30 days after that.
Bob here with software. I would love to hear what you think what the implications are going to be from a software perspective on the change in service, what people are going to expect, what you're hearing, those sorts of things.
All right, and it's a good question, and I don't know that there's a whole lot that's going to have to change, at least software-wise. Really, I think the biggest change is going to be in a lot of people's planning for drop shipment, and for trying to figure out when, if they're looking for a certain day of delivery, how are they going to need to potentially adjust when the load is going to drop to accomplish what they want to do. But as far as the software goes, I think it's going to be a relatively minor change.
So I do want to say that service standards for standard mail is a range of days. It's now it'll be 4 days for mail drop shipped on the weekend, and their IMB planning tool. There's a lot of technology that we can use, and that service providers can understand how fluid the plant is. What the Postal Service is trying to accomplish is to distribute the mail across the days of the week. We had a large spike of mail being delivered on Monday because mail dropped on the weekend ended up having 2 days worth delivered on a Monday, both Thursday mail and Friday mail. So there was a large spike, and that's not the most efficient way to run an operation. So our plan is to spread the mail out over each day of the week, and we would expect consumers to be able to have your mail piece to have a bigger impact on the consumers if the mailbox is evenly distributed over the days of the week.
It's a lot of subtle things, and one of the ones that this kind of alluded to a minute ago was there actually was a segment of the mailing community who was concerned about the volume of mail that was hitting mailboxes at once. Not because they had any particular concern for the Postal Service, but because they were concerned about being caught in the crowd. So there was actually this mindset that, well, wait, if now they're going to be spreading this volume out, it's better for me because now my message will not be as buried with a lot of other messages. It'll be more individualized. So the recipient, instead of having 15 pieces of mail on day X, will now only have 7, and they might look at mine now instead of being forced to sort through a whole bunch of stuff. So there is a different level of reaction across the industry. There are those who are not time sensitive, who really aren't concerned about it. There are those who are very time sensitive, who are quite upset. And there are those who kind of go, I'm going to play this the other way around, and maybe I am time sensitive, but I want to be on my own.
Well, one of the things to think about too is for those that are time sensitive, and if there's strategies to help get a little bit more certainty around delivery, one of the things that I've heard come up is, okay, the Postal Service is going to be rolling out the hub facilities in July. Well, first of all, our hub's going to be subject to load leveling or not. And if they're not, because you're going to earn a DSCF discount, but it's not necessarily an SCF facility. So would that be a strategy to say, okay, if day certain is important, maybe I need to take it to the hub because I'll get it that way versus going to the SCF?